Greetings, everyone. We're from Group 5, and today we will be presenting our project title, Youth Smoking and Drug Analysis for Data Science Fundamentals Projects. So here are our team members, and I am Hafi Ryan. So for this study, we will investigate key factors contributing to smoking and drug experimentation among youths using a dataset sourced from Kaggle itself. So next page. So here are the list of introduction and objectives. So basically, there's a youth substance use major public health issue. Influencing factors is such as like social, environmental, and psychological. So a few objectives here is we are here to identify key influencing factors, analyze demographic patterns, and also provide prevention insights. So next. So we use a dataset from Kaggle containing 10,000 synthetic samples and 15 features. Key attributes include with age group, gender, socioeconomic status, smoking prevalence, and drug experimentation percentage. Other columns highlight influencing factors like peer influence, family background, mental health, media exposure, and access to school programs or counseling. Next, we'll be going through to our data preparation, which is our data cleaning process. So our data cleaning process begin by removing duplicates and validating all entries. We converted categorical values into numerical formats such as transforming yes and no into binary values. So it is to ensure compatibility with analytical models. We also ensure that numerical columns had value within expected range. Once cleaned, our dataset was ready to exploratory data analysis. Next. So this is my research one, which is what age groups are most associated with high smoking and drug experimentation. So the code group data sets by the age group column to analyze patterns based on different age categories. It then selects the smoking prevalence and drug experimentation columns and calculates the average mean values for each age group. So after that, I compute the average. The results are sorted in descending order based on smoking prevalence, meaning the age group with the highest average smoking rate will appear first. So for the question one, I found that older teenagers, particularly those in the upper teen age group, had significantly higher levels of smoking and drug experimentation. So this highlights the need for early intervention before risky behaviors escalate. The next.
Okay, for the research too, what age groups are most associated with high smoking and drug experimentation? Okay, I explain about the code. First, they have dot group by socioeconomic status. This groups the rows of the data frame by the values in the socioeconomic status column. And for example, it might group by categories like low, middle, and high. And then for the smoking prevalence and drug experimentation, um, it shows smoking prevalence. It shows about the percentage of smokers, and then drug experimentation shows percentage who have experimented with the drug. And then for the mean for each group, it calculates the average mean of smoking prevalence and drug experimentation. For the short one, after calculating the means, the result is sorted by smoking prevalence in descending order from high to lowest. And then the result will print and display the table of average. That's all.
So I will talk about the research tree. So is the to school program and substance education reduce smoking and drug rates. So I'll explain the line of the code. So the so the code is the section of the code focus on understanding the relationship between the school programs related to substance use represented by the school programs columns and the average levels of school smoking prevalence and drug experimentation in the data set. So firstly, we group by the school programs by using the smoking prevalence and drug experimentation and calculate their means and sorting them by using the descending order. So next, we will generate the plot figure with using the plot figure, fixed size 12 and 5. So these are the histogram that we generated for the research. That's all from me. Thank you. Next.
So for this slide, we can see that high peer pressure is often linked to a low parental supervision. In other words, when the parents are less involved or less aware of their child activities, their peers tend to play a bigger role in influencing child behavior. On the other hand, strong, consistent parenting helps reduce the risk of peer-driven behavior by offering emotional stability and guidance. Then for the table, shows like average peer influence scores grouped by parental supervision levels. You notice that low supervision levels like 4 and 2 are on the top that has the highest peer influence, but higher supervision levels like 10 or 9 are associated with low peer influence scores. Then the bar chart over here displays how different levels of parental supervision are distributed across peer influence levels. The darker the color, the dark colors represent high supervisions, and they are like more prevalent in the lower peer influence scores over here, and lighter colors indicating like low supervision appears like more frequently as peer influence increases. So these findings support the conclusion that parental involvement acts as a buffer, as thus reducing the intensity of peer pressure and promoting healthier, independent decision making. And that's it.
So to summarize our findings here, we can see that older teens are more likely to experiment with substances. Lower socioeconomic status is linked with higher risk behaviors, and school programs have a slight positive effect. And there is also like parental supervision helps reduce the impact of peer pressure. These insights help us understand which youth populations require more focused attention and support. While our study provided valuable insights, there were also limitations that we can detail here, which is the data set is cross-sectional, meaning we cannot establish causation, only correlations. And it's also based on self-reported data, which can introduce bias or inaccuracies. And we also couldn't account for all external influence like local crime rates or regional police. Despite this, the analysis gives a strong starting point for further research. And for based on our findings, we also can propose the following recommendations here, which is age-targeted programs. It educates younger teens early and provides counseling for older teens. And next, we have community investment, which is it can provide more support and activities in lower income areas. And interactive school curriculums also can focus on decision making and coping skills, not just lectures. For parental involvement, it can encourage open, non-judgmental communication between parents and also the children itself. So I think that's all from us. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.